Tani Adewumi, an 11-year-old chess prodigy, gained international attention when he defied all odds to become one of the youngest chess masters in the United States. His achievement is even more impressive considering the challenges he faced on his journey from an underdog to a rising star. In 2017, just 2 years before making waves in the chess world, Tani was a 6-year-old boy from Nigeria who had never played chess before. Later that year, his family was forced to flee to the US due to threats from a terror group, eventually seeking asylum in New York. While living in a shelter in Manhattan, Tani discovered peace and passion for chess. A year later, as a third grader, he amazed everyone by winning the New York State Championship, defeating players from prestigious schools. Never satisfied with his achievements, Tani kept striving for more. Now, in 2024, at only 14 years old, he boasts an impressive rating of 2,325 and is holding the title of FIDE Master. In today's game, Tani faced an even tougher challenge. At just 9 years old, one of America's most promising prodigies, he went up against the nation's top-rated player, Hikarunakamura. Hikarunakamura is not only one of the strongest chess players in the world, but also one of the most popular personalities and streamers in the chess community. In a friendly blitz game at the St. Louis Chess Club, Tani faced off against Nakamura. Was it the easy encounter for the American super grandmaster that everyone expected? Let's find out. Tani began the game by moving his pawn to e4. In response, Nakamura used the Sicilian defense, moving his pawn to c5. Tani carefully planned his next moves, placing his knights on the c3 and f3 squares to build a strong setup. He strengthened his position further by pushing his pawn to d4, choosing the open variation against the Sicilian defense. Nakamura responded by exchanging the central pawn on d4. He then took the opportunity to advance his development by opting for the dragon variation of the Sicilian defense, which involved moving his pawn to g6, followed by developing his bishop to g7. Tani, focused on completing his development, made calculated moves by placing his bishops on e3 and c4. He then played a flexible move, queen to d2, which allows white the option to castle either kingside or queenside. In reply, after castling, Nakamura began his attack by positioning his bishop on d7 and pushing his b-pawn to b5. Tani quickly recognized that capturing the b5 pawn with any of his knights would expose his e4 pawn. So he made a smart move by advancing his f-pawn to f3 to protect e4. Although this move seemed simple, it opened up possibilities for complications. Nakamura then advanced his e-pawn to e5, allowing his queen a potential path to h4 to check the white king. Tani boldly captured the b5 pawn, prompting Nakamura to exchange his knight for Tani's bishop on b3. Then, in a reckless decision, Nakamura sacrificed his knight on e4, with the idea of giving a check on h4, followed by capturing the bishop on h6. The sacrifice, which appeared to be a clever tactic, had a critical flaw for black. After Tani captured the knight on e4, Nakamura hesitated briefly before playing his queen to h4, giving a check. At this critical moment, Tani missed a golden opportunity to secure a winning position against Nakamura. Feel free to pause the video and see if you can spot the full variation that Tani overlooked. Tani should have blocked the check with the move pawn to g3, preventing black from capturing the bishop with his queen. If Nakamura had attempted to take the bishop with the queen, the brilliant move knight to f6 check, followed by a queen exchange and capturing on d7, would have left white with an extra piece. And if black had recaptured with the bishop, Tani could have simply taken the pawn on d6, leaving black unable to avoid losing material, with both his queen and bishop under attack, in addition to the threat of a check on f6. However, Tani made an error by moving his knight to f2. Nakamura quickly captured the bishop on h6, attacking Tani's queen. Now black had a better position with a safer king and active bishops. Tani attempted to counter by moving his queen to d5, but black strengthened his position by shifting his rook from a8 to c8. Despite Black's superior position, Tani unfortunately made another fatal mistake that completely turned the game in Nakamura's favor. He carelessly moved his rook to c1, making it an easy target for Nakamura's bishop on h6. Nakamura, showing no mercy to young Tani, quickly captured the rook on c1 and followed up by taking the pawn on c2. In most cases, White would have resigned, but Tani decided to keep playing, savoring the chance to face a super grandmaster. Once the queens were exchanged, Hikaru had the clear advantage of an extra rook, making the remainder of the game straightforward for him. He expertly positioned his pieces, gradually cornering Tani's king until he delivered checkmate with one of his rooks. The game ended in a victory for Nakamura. Despite the loss, Tani's performance was admirable, and he even had a moment where he could have seized a winning chance.